In today's world, every single individual is a media company of one.
TikTok is huge. It's the fastest growing social media app.
We want you to upload it to Instagram.
More than 2 billion people use Facebook every month.
Whether you're an attorney, a doctor, a writer, maybe an engineer, the fact is, people are going to hire you. People are going to choose to work with you. People are going to choose to buy your product or your service, often based on how you come across on the internet. And like it or not, if you're trying to do anything in the world today, you need to manage your presence on one of these platforms. Just look at example, Elon Musk. Elon's tweets on Twitter could cause shifts of billions of dollars on the share prices of Tesla. And if you are a coach, if you're a writer, if you're a guy just starting out, it can be just as powerful for you. Very often when I'm interviewing someone, one of the first things I do is I check out their LinkedIn and I check out how they come across on LinkedIn. And you would not believe how just the right words, the right shares, the right articles on LinkedIn from a candidate can influence their odds of getting a job. So today, all of us need to nurture and learn the art of self-branding. So to teach you this art and to get you started along this path, I've got an amazing guest today. Her name is Natasha Grano. 4 years ago, Natasha went through one of the most disruptive periods of her life. She became a mother, she fell ill, and she went through a divorce, all in a compressed period of 1 year. She had to move back in with her parents, but Natasha wouldn't let that keep her down. She's an avid student of personal growth, and she decided that she was going to bounce back better than before. Over the next 3 years, she became a force to reckon with. Her Instagram hit 1.1 million fans. She wrote a book, The Action Plan, which is a book on how to implement the teachings from the best-selling book, The Secret. That's not all. She became a social media influencer and she used that to launch her single on Spotify, which hit the British charts. Natasha's ideas are going to change the way people perceive you in the world. And this could be one of the most important conversations you listen to this month. So please welcome onto the Mind Valley set, Natasha Grano. Hi, Natasha. Welcome to Mind Valley.
Hi, Vishen. Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here.
So we had a structured conversation we were going to go through, but firstly, incredible, what you've been able to pull off. Now, if you had to boil it down, because you wrote a whole book on mindset, right? If you had to boil it down, what would be your advice to people who are watching us?
So my advice would start with, what are you thinking from the inside? Who are you on the inside? What are your values? Who are you? Who do you believe that you are? Who do you want to be? And so in my book, The Action Plan, it is all about the steps to equip you with the tools for success, health, wealth, and happiness, to attract the life that you deserve and that you want. The universe is only giving. It only wants to give to you. And in my book, through the actions and the steps that I tell you to do, you can learn the same way that I did to build yourself from the inside out, to get yourself out of a bad place, to get yourself from a place of pain, of self-sabotage, of depression, of illness, how I was. I suffered from very high levels of anxiety. I was bedbound. I could barely move. I had an illness. And actually, I thought I was going to die. And from that, I was able to implement these exercises and structure into my life and focus on something else which would draw me out of this place of negativity and out of this place of sadness and pain, and focus on my highest values and implement those into my life and change it and ultimately live the life of my dreams.
I know, and one of the interesting things about you is you have so many incredible personalities come as your guest on your Instagram channel. Robin Sharma, Jim Quick, myself. I just saw Ja Rule was there.
You a Queen fan?
Yeah, babe. Are you?
Yeah, I love Queen. I actually did, I redid a Queen record, actually.
You've just created an incredible personal brand. And if you want to understand the mindset aspects, check out Natasha's book, The Action Plan. Now, this book you can read in 1 hour, okay? And if we have time, we'll go through some of the ideas from this book. But let's get started with the process that you developed to build this brand.
So it all started from a place of ground zero. So for anyone that's watching who is thinking, but I don't have an Instagram, but I don't have a social media platform, it doesn't matter. You can start without an idea. So for me, it started without an idea. Believe it or not, I had no brand. I had nothing to sell. I had simply myself and my ideas. Now you can worship at the temple of ideas all your life, but unless they're executed, they'll just remain at the temple. That is not what we're about. We are about implementing structure. Okay, so my first thing that I did was every single night before I went to bed, I would write down a list of goals, manageable goals broken down into smaller tasks that I would do the very next day. And these tasks would give me a sense of achievement. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those were focused around social media because my plan was to build a platform and then inject the brand. And why do you do that? If you build a platform first, you can sell anything because you already have an audience. If tomorrow I decide to open a social media page and my name is, Mrs. X, and I open a page and I say, I'm going to sell my book, but I don't have any followers. I've got no one to sell to. So there is utterly no point in trying to sell when you have no platform and no audience to buy from. So I went the other way. So I built this platform. And how did I build this platform? Many tips. And I'm going to give you some throughout this, some of my best gems, in fact, throughout this beautiful talk today. So if you're here at the end, you'll hear my biggest one. But my first one that I would give you is build your platform from the base up with content. So write this down. Content is key. Now, what do I mean by that? What I did was I built my platform with generic content. I built it with really cool images in the style of what I would one day hope that I would be selling in. For example, I knew I was going to go into thought leadership, so I would be posting generic quotes and content around other amazing minds of this world, put up their quotes and videos and things which would draw people in to click like, to click follow, and join my page. Ultimately, that would then grow. By the time I come to have my own product, my own service, my own course, and I introduce myself into Instagram, people already have a flavor for who this page is.
Now, is there a specific type of content that you focus on as you're building this audience?
So you focus on whatever you niche in or whatever you're going to niche in. So if you are going to go into having a platform around beauty, you would niche and focus around that. You'd be posting tutorials around beauty on your YouTube, on your Instagram. You'd be connecting with people in the beauty world in LinkedIn. You'd be building your network. Let me give you a line right now. Your net worth is your network. Your net worth is your network. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want you to always remember who you're connecting with and why. A massive question to ask yourself: is your content offering value to the world? Again, what do I mean by that? And this is such an amazing point, Vishen. I can't even tell you how good this point is, actually. For everyone that's watching, you guys are going to love this. Is your content bettering the person's life who is looking at your page? Is your content helping them to improve their health, to give them more money, to give them a better life? Are you helping them to also make millions like you? Are you helping them to better their life and other people's? If your content ticks any one of those boxes, you're on the right path.
So what this means is, let's say you are an attorney, okay? You could put up an Instagram page for your law firm or a LinkedIn page for your law firm and share content. Let's say you specialize in family law. You might share content or tips or ideas on family law. Is that what you mean?
Correct.
Focus on the content that would appeal to your market.
Correct.
Okay, and this would apply to anyone, not just if you're a coach or a motivational speaker.
Absolutely. This goes across every area. You can be an attorney, you could be opening your own business, you could be offering courses online.
Right.
Doesn't matter what area you're in.
But I think what you're saying is you don't have to be the content god or goddess to create your own content. You can share content you like. So if you are running a daycare, you could share quotes on parenting.
Absolutely.
They don't have to come from you. They could be from parenting teachers like Shefali Sabari, or parenting books, or something you see on Oprah, but you are sharing. And that's what makes starting out really easy.
Absolutely. And it goes back to one of the spiritual laws. We give and we receive all at the same time. And once you learn to tap into that, where you are giving and you're receiving, you will magnify your abundance and what you're receiving. If you give from a place of lack, then you will only ever attract more from that area. Believe it or not, when you have nothing in your bank and you're walking along the street and you give your last pound to the homeless guy, somehow you get rewarded with an abundance of money later that week.
That's a beautiful story. Now, you hit 1 million fans in 1 year. What did that process look like for you? What were you doing?
When you first post on Instagram, your post needs to go to the explore page, or it needs to gain a lot of traction really quickly, and then it will go to the explore page. How do you get it to there? You get loads of comments, loads of likes, loads of saves, loads of center stories, and loads of shares. So let's talk about Instagram, because it's at the moment, it's a very fast-paced platform where you can sell from without even doing anything. It's an amazing platform. So if you are putting your post up 1 hour before and 1 hour afterwards, you want to be interacting with like-minded accounts, your competitors' followers, because you want the chance of them seeing that you've liked and commented on their picture the hour before. You want them to come back and comment and like on your picture as soon as you post. And then for the hour afterwards, you want to do the exact same thing. So it's a minimum of a 2-hour day structure. So I was doing this actually for 8 hours a day. And so the main thing I would do is this 3-2-1 method. And what I would do is I would go onto a person who was like-minded. So I would go onto a page of somebody that I thought was similar to me and was also offering similar vibes, services, and someone I believed in. I would look at their following, okay? So I would go through not their who they're following, I would look at their followers, right? Followers, there's a difference, followers and following. Go on their followers. So I click on their followers and I would see the list of people. And I would go through 1 hour before I posted, or actually for me, it was like hours and hours of work. And I now have teams that do it, thank God. It's a lot of effort, but if you do it, it does pay off. And I would go through each person and I would click like on their most recent photo, like on their second most recent photo, and like their third most recent photo, and comment on their most recent. So 3, 2, 1, like, comment. And you comment on their most recent picture and you put something like, love your content, let's get connected, and a cute emoji. But make it personal. Like, I'm all about authenticity. I put that out
And then
to the
they
world.
would reply back and follow you.
There we go. So I wasn't even
Right.
following them at the time. I was simply doing the like, comment method, my 3-2-1 method. And they would come back to my page, and all of a sudden, instead of having 2 likes, because imagine you've just started your Instagram, on a picture, I've done this for 50 accounts before I post and 50 accounts after I post, all from my competitors'
Right.
following list. And all of a sudden, I've got 100 likes on a picture. And that way, Instagram recognizes that
That's genius.
your post is a highly interactive post. People are obviously liking it. Boom, you go to the explore page. Now thousands of people are seeing it. And oh my God, I went viral. And I got 10,000 likes on a picture. I got 10,000 comments.
Wow.
All of a sudden you grow. So that's an amazing technique. That's one of my,
That's genius. That's intriguing. I realize I've seen many authors do that. People with a large following, and now I wonder, is it really them or is it their assistant?
Absolutely.
But it's a sneaky technique, but it works. I've seen other people share that similar technique as a secret to getting followers. That's amazing. Now that of course works on Instagram. And I just want to add a note over here. From what I know, and I'd love to get your thoughts, if you're just starting out on social media, Instagram is probably one of the best solutions to start with. Something like 80 to 90% of all comments on all social media platforms are taking place on Instagram right now. People are kind of a little bit frustrated by Facebook because there's a lot of like fake news and political discussion on Facebook. It's often not the best vibe. Twitter is highly random. And Twitter is often not the best way to self-brand a company or a product or a book. But Instagram, because it's so visual, is remarkable for self-branding. Your thoughts?
It is. Instagram is the best place for self-branding because you are able to put across what you believe in, what your brand represents, and show them with calls to action how to buy from you right there and then. So the call to action is really a power tip. Every single time that you post, every single time, you want to show your followers and your clients, your new leads, where they can buy your product or service. Let's start with your bio. At the base of your bio, you see you can add a website, right? From week to week, from offer to offer, from everything that you are offering right now. On the baseline of your bio, I want you to write something like this. Check out our latest bike we're selling now with 30% off, and then add 2 emoji signs like this, the hand signs pointing down or an arrow, something suggesting hit the link below, or just write that, hit the link below, and then add your website. And then if you want to go one step further on a call to action, in your location on your post, you can actually type in, instead of putting London, Brazil, LA, you could actually put link in bio.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that tip. Linked in bio, all caps. So Natasha, you spoke about competitors, right? Following your competitors. How do you identify who is your competitor if you're just getting started?
So how I identify competitors for myself and how I would tell you to do it for anyone that wants to know who their competitors are. You want to look at a person or a brand, a business that sells a similar service or product to what you sell. Now, hopefully you've come up with a genius idea that, there aren't really many out there like it. And your competitor would be somebody who has a big following, because you don't want to target the followers of a competitor who's only got 5,000 followers. You're looking for the 100,000 at a minimum, 80,000 kind of north. You're looking for the ones who have got millions of followers preferably, but it doesn't really matter as long as it's over 100,000, as long as they've got a strong list there. You're looking at people who offer something similar to you. That's why I call it a like-minded or one step above account. So I always say with, being authentic, your business in itself, if you're now thinking of that idea, you don't want to create something where you're going to be second place to someone. Why would you ever want to be second place to someone? You want to be first place to yourself, never second place to someone else. So think of an idea that is pure, that is going to offer such a high level of value to your audience that they're just going to want it, that nobody else is producing something like it. But once you've thought of that idea, then go online and think, okay, well, you've probably already done your market research. I hope if you've created it by now, you've already played devil's advocate and you've found all the companies that are similar to yours. You don't want to be too similar to someone else, but go to a similar company. That's your competitor.
And you know what? I think a lot of people in Mind Valley sometimes have difficulty with the word competitor because they think it means you're in competition for something, but actually no. We live in an abundant world. For example, let's say you want to teach people learning skills. The number one guy out there is Jim Quick. Look at who follows Jim Quick, right? Now, somebody who's really into learning will likely buy from Jim Quick, but they may also buy from you. It isn't costing Jim Quick a client. If you're really into something like skiing, you're going to buy multiple books on skiing. There was a time when I was really into website design. I probably own 25 books on website design. It's not like you buy one and you go, oh, that's it. When I was into digital marketing, I probably took 15 or so different courses by 15 different experts in digital marketing. So don't think of your competitor as someone you're taking away from. Rather, it's someone you're honoring, you're respecting, and you aspire to be like. And so when you change the definition of competitor, I think you get a lot more comfortable with this strategy. And there's nothing wrong with it. Feel free to think of me as your competitor. That's great. If we are both helping spread enlightened ideas, then We are allies in that sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, the next question is this. How do we know what to share? Sometimes I want to do a selfie or just share a picture that I think is aesthetic, or a picture of my kids. But I wonder, does my audience really care about that? Does my audience want yet another picture of me and my children? How do we know what to share?
Okay, so with sharing, I mean, you want to always keep it within your brand, always keep it focused within what you're representing, what you're giving out. So if you, for example, you have Mind Valley as one account on Vana, all the different platforms, and you've got Vision, right? So on Vision, you can post your family, right? On your personal page, you guys can post your pictures of your kids. But if you have a platform or a place where you're only putting up content about business, then you don't want to start putting in the personal stuff too much into it, unless it represents something about why they would want to buy that service, so that they too can spend time with their family, because it's now a passive income. So when you're posting content, particularly to your story, always think, does this offer value to my audience, or are they going to enjoy it because they're learning about who I am? Mm-hmm. So when people are learning about who I am, I'm always happy to put up little things, with my son, or I use the good friends area. You can like create on Instagram stories. There's like the good friends bit where you can put your list of your people that you want to be in there. And I've got like 200 people. That's my close friends and family.
Right. And that's where you put your pictures of your kids.
That's where I put all my personal stuff, which you guys probably, would be bored of seeing, like me, swinging my hair around, acting a little cray-cray, just all of this stuff. I keep that really personal, and I put that into my good friends only. But I do post little bits here and there of my son, personal content, because I think it's important that people know I'm human. I'm a mom. I'm a single mom. I've done all this myself. I like everyone to see what I came from. If you are someone offering a service, and it's a personal and brand page combined, because it is nice to keep it really as a strong page. If you've already got 5,000 followers, don't bother starting again. That's a really good starting base, believe me. You don't want to then start again and have to post all just one style of content. But ask yourself, with that content that you're putting up, am I offering value? So if you want to post the like spaghetti bolognese that you ate last night, like I'd love to see it. I mean, I want to learn how to make it. I don't think I've cooked in like 10 years.
But some people may not. And
but
so
some people really don't want to see that. They might not eat meat. They might not do that, all these different things. And so you don't want to conflict of interest on content. Keep it in keeping with your brand.
And when I look at your content, I see that, so I was just looking at some of the stuff that you're posting. So you're getting 25 to 35,000 likes when you post a beautiful picture of yourself and some beautiful scenery, when you post a press article of yourself. And I noticed there's a picture of your kid, and a recent picture of your kid. It's actually not the most aesthetic picture. It only has about 13,000 likes. Mm-hmm. But I actually like that picture because it's you. It's real. And I think too often people look picture by picture, but if I'm looking at your overview page, Natasha, I see all of these celebrities you're interviewing. I see all of these beautiful glamour shots, but I see that picture of you and your child, and that all of a sudden makes you so much more relatable, because as a fellow parent, that instantly appeals to me. So I think that balance, that overall balance is also important.
Absolutely. I mean, look, if you are whoever you are and whatever your brand represents, you want the human side of you to come through. Exactly what you're saying. You want to connect with people. I'm a mom, like I was saying. I want to connect with men and women all over the world. I want to show that I am an animal lover. I'm a philanthropist. You want to try and put those things up. And so for someone who there's two sides of the equation. You could either be on the brand side where you are selling, or you're on the other side where brands are getting you to sell. You're, essentially an influencer. And what is an influencer? I started as an influencer. That was my whole thing. Now the word influencer means this. Influencer is somebody that is an expert in their field and influences a mass market in their field. That's my version of influencer. You know, and that's evolved because influencer was once like a beauty blogger, a fashion blogger, and that's essentially kind of how my journey began, believe it or not, years ago. But I only did that to build that platform,
Right.
to get that really intense following, to get people. You sometimes find people who are reals, you know, they've been on big shows and they are household names. They have a smaller following than people who haven't been on some of those things.
I see.
And that's because these people know how to grow their brand. They know how to grow their platform.
Now, the next question is on photography itself. Is there a particular way to choose, compose, and post pictures that actually resonate?
You do not have to go all out. You can use an iPhone. You can use any phone. You just want to make sure your content is clear. Okay, you don't want to have a wild background of like, you know, your bed, your dinner, your clothes. That's too much. You want a really clean, aesthetically appealing shot, right? So with photography, if it's of yourself, make sure you know what you're shooting, you've got your storyboard, you're working out how you want to be in the shot, what your best angles are, get some good lighting. You can literally do all this from home. Never stand with a window behind you if you're doing this on your own. Always have the window in front of you or have a light in front of you. Never have a light directly above your head or you just get like mad shadows down your face. So you really want to set up your own setting for your pictures. And you can do this all from your own equipment. You don't need to invest in a professional camera and all of that stuff. But if you want to take it a bit further, you can buy a ring light for like 40 quid, $40 on Amazon. And you can just take it a bit further. If it is not of yourself, then the content you're taking will be of your product you're selling. So whatever it is that you're selling, you want to make sure you get a really clear shot of that, you know, bird's eye view of it, different angles, and make sure that you're really showing and demonstrating what that product offers and why people want to buy it. Your caption will really help there as well because you'll be explaining it further. But with your shots, make sure they're clear. They don't have blurred lenses when you're taking the picture. Use apps. There's amazing apps out there. What you're putting out there, your content. If you're doing a video, don't start your video like this, where you're like off the camera. That's never gonna work. You want your shot to be you in the camera, like ready to talk. Get your cover photo for your video. You want to draw people in. If you have a look at my page, every single one has a cover photo with writing on it or just a cover photo of me. It's never just sort of a blurred shot unless I intended it to be of me jumping in the sky, you know, showing the exercise that I was doing that day or something. But you want to really make sure that it's visually clear and that your content really matches each other. Everything's in the same vein. Everything is all saying the same message.
So that's amazing. I think most people watching had no idea that there was so much thinking, there was so much planning behind this.
Yeah, sure.
But the impact that you can have when you do this right is huge. So in closing, how does one get started?
The first thing you want to do is plan, plan, plan. The word attraction, what are the last letters of that word? Action. Take inspired action towards what your objectives are. The bigger the input, the bigger the output. Everything that you put in, you're going to get out. So you want to plan your content, plan your business, take it global, take it online. Before you even go anywhere, take it online. Attraction, wanting to have everything that you've dreamed of, wanting to own the houses, the cars, all of this comes with success. It comes with everything that you're about to do and embark on from today, I hope. Take that action from today. Before you go to bed, write that list of those goals as we talked about at the beginning of today's episode. You want to really know exactly what it is you're putting out there into the world and take action towards it. So decide what is important to you. What are your highest values? What is going to make a difference in this world? What is going to contribute to other people's lives? How are you going to inspire them to be inspired by you? You want them to buy from you? You've got to first inspire them. Show them how they can also have the life or the business that you have. What can they do? So take actionable steps, break it down into small steps. small things, and plan. You can never plan enough. Honestly, that was my biggest thing. Going out there and connecting, like I taught you, with new lead gens. You've got no money to advertise, go on Instagram and reach out to people. Who wants to learn more about this service I'm offering? Who wants to know more about the new thing that I'm selling? Whatever it is. And then you go through that list. So take action towards your objective every single day, and you will achieve it.
Thank you, Natasha. And that's a great way to end this mentoring episode. Thank you for joining us. And guys, you know what to do next. Open up an Instagram account or get on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or whatever account, whatever social media platform appeals to you, and start implementing. Listen to this again. This time, take notes and create your action plan and start moving towards branding yourself to get your product, your service, your company, your ideas out to the world, and watch the difference this is going to make. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you so much for having me.